Alright guys, here we go with another brand new episode of Marvel What If. Today we have episode 6, What If Killmonger Rescued Tony Stark. This is a big one I've been excited for because I love Michael B. Jordan as Erik Killmonger in Black Panther. He's one of the best villains of the MCU, so I was so excited to see his return here and see what kind of story we'd be doing with him saving Tony Stark, and that's exactly where this episode starts off. So of course, before we get into the spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the episode, of course, as always, that whole thing. But anyways, let's get in and talk about Marvel Studios' What If episode 6. So one thing I do want to note is actually when we start off this episode with the Watcher, you actually see him in his full form. Like, you actually see his flesh and his skin, which is weird because so far throughout the season, all we've seen from the Watcher is just him, like, in the background being super translucent and everything with, like, the stars and, like, the galaxy and everything, and just seems like he's really far away. But throughout this whole episode, you saw his skin, you saw his flesh, and this is something I pointed out in my trailer breakdown of the mid-season trailer yesterday, is that, like, each episode he's becoming more and more visible, most likely because by the end of this he's going to be becoming more and more involved in the story, which I'm really excited to see. So that's just something I wanted to point out real quick here. But of course, this episode starts off exactly how we saw it start off in the first trailer for What If, where Tony Stark is in the military truck from the first Iron Man movie, and then of course they get attacked by the 10 Rings. Also so cool to see and hear Erik Killmonger say 10 Rings organization. Like, that was so cool. But then Erik Killmonger shows up and he saves him. And so then because of this, Tony Stark never gets captured by the 10 Rings. He never gets locked up in that cave. He never meets Ho Yinsen. He never becomes Iron Man. And because of that, some really bad stuff happens. So he actually ends up making Eric Stevens, aka Erik Killmonger, the head of security, and Killmonger completely exposes Obadiah Stane's evil plans because, of course, it was revealed in that first Iron Man movie that he was the reason and that the hit was put out on him with the 10 Rings and everything. So then he's like, all right, well, thanks for that, Killmonger. Now I'm going to make you the COO, and basically you're going to be replacing Obadiah Stane. So already you can see some different characters like Pepper and Happy starting to get really suspicious of this, and it's like, you just met this guy, but I mean, alright. So Tony decides, like, you know what, you saved my life, I gotta repay you some way. I mean, I think he's already repaid him enough, but he decides he's going to help him build this manned drone that Killmonger came up with the idea for. But the thing is, they need vibranium. So they go ahead and visit Ulysses Claw, which was really cool to see because Andy Serkis, his performance as Claw in the MCU is one of the best. He's another of my favorite MCU villains. He was so cool. So I love seeing him return once again in this episode. But instead, this episode where we have actually Rhodey going in, played by Don Cheadle. It's not Terrence Howard in this one, where we have Rhodey going in and going to get the vibranium from Claw because, they have to make it look like, oh, it's a deal with the military or something. But Black Panther shows up. This is specifically T'Challa Black Panther. He shows up and he tries to stop them, but then Erik Killmonger shows up and not only uses a sonic ray to kill and murder T'Challa, but also kill Rhodey, and he leaves the gun there so that it looks like Rhodey is the one that killed both of them. So he just starts murdering people now and goes down this dark path in this episode, making it look like everybody else is responsible for these deaths. So then Tony obviously knows that Killmonger is responsible for Rhodey's death, his best friend, so he steals Killmonger's ring and builds one of these robots, and with that robot he tries to kill Erik, but he ends up killing Tony in the end, which actually happened like halfway through the episode, which I was really surprised about because, I thought that was the whole thing in this episode was like a team up between Killmonger and Tony Stark, but no, it was just a full-on Killmonger episode, which I absolutely loved. So we meet back up with Claw. Claw takes Killmonger to Wakanda. Fortunately, he kills him again, just like in the Black Panther movie. Like, the one thing I don't like about that movie is the death of Claw. And then, basically, Killmonger gets this free pass into Wakanda. He ends up gaining their trust. And then the Stark drones are sent into Wakanda by General Thunderbolt Ross and the U.S. government. And then we just get this crazy Wakanda battle versus the Stark Tech drones. Obviously they defeat the drones, And then we get this really interesting ending that left off a little abruptly. But I love this moment here where T'Chaka gives Killmonger the heart-shaped herb, and then Killmonger goes into the ancestral plane, just as we saw T'Challa do in Black Panther, and he sees T'Challa. Now, you would have thought he would have seen, like, his father or something, although his father never was Black Panther, so I guess that's why. But he sees T'Challa, and wow, it was just such a powerful moment from, again, you have Chadwick Boseman returning to do the voice. We know he's going to return in, I think, one more episode of What If, but it was just such a powerful moment, and that's something that I actually wanted to see from Black Panther 2, like, wrapping up the storyline of T'Challa, is, like, if they do bring him back in some shape or form, like, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but I always thought that it would be cool to, like, do a send-off of T'Challa just being in the ancestral plane, but we got it here with Chadwick Boseman's actual voice, so I'm happy and I'm satisfied with that. But then, the last scene of the episode, after now Killmonger's become the new Black Panther, and we know he's actually going to return in a future episode as well, Shuri goes to Stark Tech and basically says she's going to help out Pepper Potts. And that's where the episode ends. That was a little confusing to me because there was a shot in the trailer, both the original trailer and the mid-season trailer, where we have Shuri teaming up with Pepper Potts actually wielding the sonic ray, and the two of them going into Wakanda and battling Killmonger. So I'm a little surprised not only that they didn't put that in the episode, but that just the episode ended so abruptly. So I thought that was a little weird, but still a cool episode. I like the episode. I love seeing this dark journey for Killmonger. There was a lot of twists and turns I wasn't expecting. And like I said, he is set to return because we are getting the Guardians of the Multiverse by the end of this, because for those of you who don't know, this whole season isn't just individual storylines. The last episode, or at least I think is the last episode, at some point at the end of this season, we are getting this crossover with the Guardians of the Multiverse, where we'll be assembling all of these various multiverse characters, like Erik Killmonger. We're going to be having Captain Carter in here, T'Challa Star-Lord, Doctor Strange Supreme, Party Thor, Mad Titan Gamora, and Apocalypse Black Widow. I think that's everyone. And then obviously the Watcher's going to be there too. So definitely really excited for this. Again, this was episode 6, so we've got 3 more episodes. Super excited to find out what those are. Next week's episode, we don't know for sure what it is. I'm thinking it's probably Party Thor, or maybe the Mad Titan Gamora one, or also maybe the Black Widow one, because I have a feeling actually the Party Thor and Black Widow one might actually be the same episode, just based off the trailer. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my mid-season trailer for Marvel What If. It was a great trailer. But, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about Marvel What If Episode 6? And, of course, let me know all your thoughts, theories, and predictions for the final 3 episodes of this season. So, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.